Hey y'all, it's been a while since I made a video, and I actually recorded about 2 videos. However, I'm not really satisfied with them. Sorry, this is like a weird angle, but I'm not really satisfied with them, and I'm just not really satisfied with them. I made a Q&A, and I feel bad because I told my Instagram like 4 times that I was gonna make like a Q&A and like ask all the questions you want to ask, but I never made the videos. Well, I did, but I recorded them, and they were just like either kind of awkward, not because of the questions, but just because of the way I answered the questions. But yeah, but I have one that's in the works, or it was in the works, but then I went back to go edit it, and it was saying also that like there was some missing content. Like it was like saying that I like deleted one of the videos, so I can't edit the video anymore or something like that. Anyways, I'm on my way to confession right now. I gotta go confess my sins, y'all. Like I actually do. I need to have like a good conscience. And I just like want to feel better about myself. I want to feel closer to God, so I gotta do what I gotta do, you know? But I'm making this video I'm remaking this video because I originally like recorded a video, but I just wasn't satisfied with it. But anyways, I've got a new, anyways, you guys, I got a new car, and that is something that I'm so excited about, and I'm very much wanting to share with you guys. So I'm making a video about it, or I'm remaking a video about it. So I just like want to give you guys this rundown, this story time of how I got a new car. So this goes back all the way to when I was 10 years old. I remember I was in the car with my mom, and I saw a 350Z, and I was like, oh my gosh, mom, like that was a loud car. I was like, oh my gosh, mom, I want that car so bad. I'm getting that car when I'm older. And I would tell like my cousins that I was gonna get that car when I'm older and everything. And that's like the only car that I've ever wanted besides my car, besides a BRZ or FRS or 86. That's like the only car that I've ever seen that I was like, oh, I want that car when I'm older. Like that was like my only dream car. I've never had a dream car besides that car, you guys. Alright, y'all, I'm out of confession. This is also really awkward because I don't have no lighting in here. But anyways, I just got a confession. I honestly feel really good now. I'm about to get boba to treat myself because going to confession, you guys, for all my Catholics out there, y'all know the struggle. You really have to humble yourself. And it's just hard, but I feel like I was kind of just ready to go. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna pour it all, spill all the tea. And yeah, so now I'm gonna treat myself by getting boba tea. I was thinking about getting a Korean corn dog, but I was like, I don't know about that one. I mean, I do want one, but I think I'd rather, like, for like me, like when I treat myself, like I want like something sweet, like a dessert or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but I'll get into what the purpose of this video was. I'll get into that when I get home. Just a warning, you guys, do not listen to this next part with your headphones on. It is going to sound like a rape and static, but it does get better. It's just for some reason when I was going on a higher speed, the mic and my voice were just not compatible. So try your best to enjoy it, please. So we're going to be driving to school today. This is the next day. I was supposed to continue recording last night, but that did not happen. My phone keeps on running out of storage, so I deleted Snapchat in order to record this, so hopefully that works. But before I drive, I'm gonna say my prayers real quick. BRB. Alright, so we're back, y'all. I'm on my way to school, but I can't remember where I left off yesterday. But anyways, so when I was 10, I remember driving my mom. I saw the Nissan 350Z. I said that's the car I'm gonna get when I'm older. That's the only car I've ever wanted. Let's rewind to a year. I said 2 years earlier, but let's rewind to last year when I knew what a Sound FRS / BRZ / GR86 was. I really liked how they looked. I felt kind of like a poser because I only like judged the car based on its looks. I didn't like pay attention to the performance or anything. All I knew from when I was younger was that I wanted a like little sports car that was a stick shift car, and a Nissan 350Z, just like, I don't know, it just was my dream car. I loved how it was 2-seaters. I loved how compact it was. That's what I always wanted in a car. Now this car, what I have right now, I have a Subaru BRZ. My parents last year were like, when I was like finally just like actually like on track to buy a new car. My parents like weren't really supportive of me getting a 350Z. They would rather me get like a new car, I guess, something that was more reliable to them. I don't really know much about cars, so I don't really know what is reliable or what's not reliable, but yeah, the 350Zs are kind of older, I guess. 370s are newer. I don't think they make those anymore. They just make the Nissan Z. My parents just like didn't really want me to get a 350 or 370, and I kind of wanted to get like a car that's more ideal for the future, because I am in my early 20s, you guys. Like, so like I'm just thinking maybe in like maybe 5 years, like when I have a kid, like if I have a 350Z, I won't be able to drive my kid in the car because there's just no space for a car seat. In the BRZ, there's barely space for a car seat, but at least there is space for a car seat. Like there's even like there's like clips on the back seat, like where you can put a car seat, and I really appreciate that. So I was like, you know what, like this car is more ideal for me in the future. I think I'm gonna go with the BRZ. I originally was wanting to get a 350Z back in 2021, when I had like during my first job era. But my savings went away during the pandemic. To be honest, like it just went away. Like I was very irresponsible with money, so I had to start from square one. And yeah, so I ended up getting a BRZ. So that's the backstory. Let's get into how I got the BRZ. So, earlier this year, my mom was like, okay, like you need a new car ASAP. Like your car is like not doing good. Cause I drove a 2008 Honda Accord. I was very blessed with it. My cousin sold it to my parents. My parents bought it, and then my parents gave it to me. And that's what I've been driving since my senior year of high school, until like a few months ago. I was very blessed with that car. I'm very thankful that my parents gave me that car, and let me call it mine. But it was earlier this year when my mom was like, okay, like you should get a new car. So my mom has like a family friend who's a booker. I think that's what it's called, a booker. And she asked him to look for used BRZs, like used ones, and he was like, okay. And he's based in SoCal, but he couldn't find any used ones. Like he didn't tell us that he couldn't, but it took like maybe 3 months for us to like be like, for my mom to reach out to him again and be like, hey, like any progress? And he was like, no, but I'm trying. And then so we were like, my mom was like, would you be down to just like get a new BRZ? And I was like, yeah, I would. So she was like, okay, can you look for like a new one instead? And then he found like a new one in Irvine, but it was a little bit expensive, and it was a white one, and my last car was white, and I just like personally wouldn't want a white car again. Silver or gray or black was ideal for me for a new car, and that's just like what I wanted. I don't know, I just love silver or gray cars. Even black cars, I like black cars too. He found a white one. It was nice. It had black rims, I want to say, with yellow calipers. I thought that was like really cool. My parents thought it was really cool, but it was expensive. So we went to the Subaru in my town, Modesto Subaru. Went there to go see if they had any BRZs, and we went one day. My parents surprised me one day. We were on the way back from an A's game, and I had woken up because I love to sleep. I love to sleep any chance I get to sleep. But when we were on the way home, my parents surprised me, like, we're going to go to Modesto Subaru, we're going to see if they have a BRZ, and I was like, okay. And it turns out they had one more BRZ that was a manual. They had one manual one and one automatic one. Their automatic one was in silver, their manual one was in white. But I was like, at this point, like, I don't care what color it is, I just want like a manual, BRZ. That's like my taste, I'd say. And so we sat, or like, this guy named Carlos, shout out to Carlos, he was there like the entire time, like my journey of like getting a BRZ, I guess. He like experienced it. He was like helping us, and it was just so funny. Like I didn't know how to drive manual at the time when we were looking at this car, so we couldn't, like I couldn't just test drive it. They were like trying to, like they weren't trying to get me to buy the automatic one, but they're like the workers were like,
oh, like you don't even know how to drive manual, like why would you want like a manual car?
I was like, I just want a manual car. And the white one was the only one they had. I'm like getting all over the place, but anyways, they let me just sit in the car and everything. Like they let us check it out, and it just felt so nice. Like I sat in the car and I felt like the car was made for me. I know like it just wasn't only made for me, like the car is made for like so many other people in the world as well. But like that, like when I sat in the car, like it felt like such a me car. Like I was like, this is the car that I could see myself having. Like, this is like my car. And I just like I just loved it. Like, I've never sat in a car. I sat in the car and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is the best feeling ever. This feels like it's my car. Like this is like one of the only cars I could see myself actually driving and like being proud that I bought this car, because I'm like buying the car with my money. So like if I'm putting my money somewhere, like I'm gonna make sure, like I want to make sure that I'm satisfied with what I'm buying. Like I don't want to buy a car and regret buying it, because also this, like my mom was like kind of trying to get me to buy a Honda Civic at the time, and so fast forward to like a week later, we went to go check out Hondas at the Honda dealership. My mom was like, okay, let's go ahead and test drive a Civic, and like if you don't like it, then we'll go to Subaru. But yeah, oh my gosh, we went to the Honda dealership on Labor Day and test drove a Honda, and it was cool. Like it was nice. Like I liked it. You know, I had to drive an automatic, of course, because I didn't know how to drive stick at the time, and I really liked it. Like I was pretty content with it, but it just wasn't like really. I don't want to sound ungrateful, but at the end of the day, like I'm buying the car with my money. It just didn't feel like I would be like satisfied if I would have bought that car. Like I feel like if I would have seen a BRZ while I was in my new Civic, then I would start the BRZ and wish I got the BRZ. So after that, we went to the Subaru dealership, and we were like, hey, do you guys still have that white BRZ, the manual one that we looked at like a week ago? And they were like, actually, like we just sold it. Like long story short, like it was in the sold parking lot, and we were like, dang it. And then my mom
was like, oh, like it looks like you're gonna have to get the Civic then.
And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I don't want the Civic. Like, why do I feel like I'm having FOMO now, like with this like BRZ being sold? But then the manager was like, because it was only the manager that was in at the time. Like we went there before open. We didn't know that it wasn't open, but he still helped us anyway. So shout out to the manager at Modesto Subaru. And he was like,
wait.
And then he was just like on his computer. We're like, why is he on his computer? Like if he said that he's like, they sold it. Like did they get a new one? And turns out they had just gotten 2 new BRZs the night before. One was an automatic, one was a manual. They were both silver. Silver like was like a color that I'm satisfied with when I'm getting a car. And we're like, okay. But they were trying to find, the guy was like walking around the parking lot trying to find it. But then he was like kind of taking a long time. So like we're like, okay, like are they having trouble finding the car? And then we literally blinked like twice, and then it turns out there's like 4 other workers walking around the whole parking lot trying to find the new BRZs. And we're like, okay, like I'm like, okay, this is like intense. Like they're really trying to find this car and like sell it to us. And then like 10 minutes later, we see like a silver BRZ pull up, plastic all over the seats and everything, like literally brand new, like out the shop or whatever. Plastic all over the seats and everything. They pull it up to us and they're like, go ahead and sit in it. And I sat in it. I was happy. I was content. I was like, this car was made for me. What was I made it for by Billie Eilish, because it was that moment when that song played in my head. But it just like felt like this is like everything I wanted in a car. Like this is what I wanted since I was 10. And my parents and I test drove it. I sat in the back of the car. For you guys who don't know, there's tiny, like mainly the back, like a kid could fit there or 2, but like an adult, not likely. I mean, my friend, shout out to Melissa, we made it work. She sat in the back 3 times actually when we hung out with our friends. But yeah, like I sat in the back and I was like, you know, I'm cool with it. Like, and then my parents were test driving it because they know how to drive manual and I don't. And there was a reason why we couldn't test drive it the first time we went to go look at the white one, but I don't know, I forgot why. But we test drove it this time. I had fun. I was like, oh, I love this car. And then I gave my parents a down payment, and I had to like literally go to work. I came to my work uniform in my car. My parents took their car. I was like, okay, I have to go to work, but I handed like the down payment to my mom. She made the down payment for me. Paperwork. Shout out to Carlos. He really was there. Like, shout out to the manager of Subaru for like finding the car for us. Shout out, I think his name is Josh, who like did the paperwork with me the 2 days after that. So like that was Labor Day. It was a Monday. I gave my parents the down payment, my parents the down payment, and then 2 days later my mom took me to go sign the papers so that I can like get the car. I got the car. I didn't learn how to drive it till like almost like a month of having it, I want to say, I had some like a little bit of knowledge on like how to drive manual, because I used to watch like TikToks and YouTube videos all the time on like how to drive a manual car, but like I've never actually applied it in real life. So like my mom took me to like an empty parking lot when we like got the car, and I was able to go in like first and second gear. I didn't stall at all like the first time I drove it, but then after that, like I would stall a lot when we drove around the neighborhood. And then I eventually like got comfortable to take it to school. I honestly was kind of worried because I was like, bro, like how am I supposed to like learn how to drive this if all I do is stall? Because I was stall all the time when we were on the neighborhood. I couldn't even pull it up the driveway, but I guess it was just something that I had to get used to. And to be honest, you guys, if I can learn how to drive stick, I think anyone else in the world can learn how to drive stick. Like, I'm a very clumsy person. I'm very goofy, like lousy. I'm just like a very like clumsy person. So like, I feel like if I can learn how to drive stick, like anybody can. And yeah, like I just like been having so much fun in this car. It's like such a good transition because I just transferred to university from community college, and I have like a longer commute because my community college is only 10 minutes away, but university is like 30 minutes away, which isn't that bad. But the miles add up, the time in the car add up, and I'm very thankful that it was around the time when I started going to universities when I got this car, because it makes the whole experience like a lot better for me. And I feel like I kind of live in my car in a way because I spend so much time in my car. I'm always going to school and work, like back and forth. I'm not really home that much, so like it feels like I spend a lot of time in my car, and I feel like I wouldn't want to spend that much time in any other car besides this car. Like I just am very fond of this car and everything. It's just like very fun, very fresh, and I can't believe I got it. Like even to this day, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I really got my dream car. Technically, the Nissan 350Z is my dream car, but I like to consider this my dream car as well because it changed my mind. Like once I started looking into the details, I was like, maybe I don't want a 350Z anymore. Maybe I do want this car. I'm very happy. I was gonna say I love this car. I don't really say that I love objects, but I'm putting my money into this car, and I love it. Yeah, it's just a really very good experience, and I don't know. The concept is just so cool. I'm very happy with it. Yeah, I also love driving manual. Like I think it's such like a skill that anybody should learn to drive manual. Like I think it's so cool. It's just like, I don't know, it's like a skill. I feel like it's like learning a second language in a way. It's kind of like learning a new instrument. So like it's pretty cool. I'm very happy with it. I was gonna record more about like my day today, but I only have 1 gigabyte left, so I could probably only record for like a minute left. But I just want to say thank you all for watching this video. If you made it this far, if you watched all the way to this far, comment down below what your dream car is, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.